Does gingham belong in your 2023 wardrobe? Is this fabric contemporary and chic enough to meet the preferences and the needs of today's fashionista? Well, the answer to that is in today's video. So grab your favorite mug, fill it with a cup of tea or your drink of preference, and make yourself comfortable. I am taking you on a tour of gingham, and by the end of the video, you just might want to add gingham to your fashion arsenal too. Thanks for joining me here at Cassie Sews, where we are mastering that home sewing game one stitch at a time. If you took the time to click on this video, then that tells me something about you. It tells me that you have an eye for style and you've likely been curating your wardrobe for quite some time. You most likely care about being well groomed, and the standards to be met are quality, function, and style. You've likely also been selecting pieces for your wardrobe that meet that criteria. But have you been missing out on gingham and its potential to be a staple in your wardrobe? Well, today I'm proposing to you that this incredible go-to fabric does belong in the modern wardrobe, and I'm going to share with you today 5 reasons why gingham remains a stylish choice in 2023 and why you might want to add some to your wardrobe too. In addition to our gingham tour today, I am also sharing with you part 2 of the making of the gingham must-have shirt dress. In that part of the video, I'm going to share with you the home Sewist secret to installing a 5-inch border hem. So stay tuned past the gingham tour to learn the secrets to creating this special hem. And now, with no further ado, I'm going to share with you the 5 reasons why gingham belongs in your 2023 wardrobe. Reason number 1, gingham is timeless. One might worry that gingham's going to look quaint and old-fashioned, but quite the opposite is true. The gingham's iconic check pattern is simple and yet captivating all at once. And it does capture the hearts of designers everywhere, and you will find gingham on the runways of high-end fashion designers such as Prada, Net-a-Porter, Saks Fifth Avenue, Nordstrom, to name but a few, but trust me, there's even more than that. This fabric has just got such a timeless design that it seems to span across decades and even centuries. And that's right, I did say centuries. Do you guys know that gingham is about 250 years old? It gained its popularity around the mid-18th century, and ever since it's just continued to be in use across the decades through various fashions and cultures. It's really taken its place and it's created for itself a rich history. So no doubt about it, if you ask me, any fabric that's been around for 250 years has most certainly earned its place as being called a timeless piece of fabric that never goes out of style. Reason number 2 is versatility. Gingham is an incredibly versatile fabric. When I'm referring to the versatility, I mean the many different places that you see gingham show up, because you don't just see gingham in clothing, do you? We see gingham showing up in clothing, but we also see it show up in upholstery like home decor, be it curtains or sofas or chairs or things like that. And it also shows up in arts and crafts on the top of your preserving jars, the little gingham fabric cover and everything, you know what I mean? So the point is, gingham is such a versatile design as well, with the simple check pattern, that people have found so many places to use it. So the versatility alone makes this fabric a keeper. In addition to that, the versatility of gingham inside the fashion world on its own, before you add like home decor and crafts and stuff, just inside of fashion, it's incredibly versatile, because you will find gingham on shirts, pants, dresses. You even find it on bathing suits, baby clothing, pajamas, winter and outerwear, even accessories. There's just a lot of options out there to be had, no doubt about it. So you only have to take a brief look around you and you're going to discover that gingham versatility is just everywhere. Reason number 3 is making a statement with color. You can express yourself to the max with gingham, and there's certainly no shortage of color choices to choose from. As you know, gingham comes in the classic black and white, but also comes in bold, bright hues to summer shades and even right down to soft pastel hues. Naturally, what that means is that gingham is showing this versatility even among the use of color. By choosing lighter or darker colors, we can choose things that suit different seasons and different moods and different clothing expressions. So, you know, whether you're using gingham in summer wear or fall outerwear, it's a choice that you can use in gingham to make a statement. Another thing that I love about gingham in its color is that it's not just a solid. You have the color plus the white, and then as you know with the weave, it's sort of like a dark blue, it's then a weave that's half white, half blue, and then like a white square, right? You kind of have the three going on in there. What I find this does is it lightens it, right? So you get a shot of color, but it still has this lighter, brighter effect to it that I think can be really pretty. You know, I love that we express ourselves with color, don't you? In fact, I have an idea. Why don't you guys post in the comments below, what is your favorite color of gingham? Like if you had to have a signature color, a go-to color of gingham, what would it be and why? If you post that down below, we'll get to see what is everyone's favorite color. But in addition to that, of course, when you comment, like, or subscribe, it does help the channel grow. So just take a minute, guys, and smash that like button. Comment down below what's your favorite color. And if you subscribe and turn on those notifications, you won't miss another part of this series or any of the other great series we have to come. Thanks so much, guys, for that support. Well, moving right along to reason number 4, which is durability. You know, our impact on the environment is something that we're all trying to reduce. Don't you agree? And so when we choose fabrics that are durable, they promote slow fashion, and this is helping reduce our overall impact. And gingham is definitely a fabric that can stand up to rigorous use and frequent washing. And so what's not to like, right? The reason, part of why it's so durable, what you're going to want to remember from video number 1 is that gingham is a fabric that's woven through, meaning you can see it looks the same on both sides because it is made up of dyed threads that are woven together to create this iconic pattern. And so how does that increase its durability? It's not necessarily, I mean, sure, there's the tightness of the weave, but it's the idea that if you're dealing with a dyed fabric instead of something that's printed on the surface of the fabric, it will reduce the risk of fading. So it's going to hold the vibrant color much longer, which therefore just increases that durability. Just also bear in mind when it comes to the durability of gingham is it usually is made of cotton and cotton blends, not only, but quite typically. And so that just contributes to the overall durability of that fabric as well, which is why cotton remains a top performer in modern day wardrobes. So why not add some gingham in there? And then finally, reason number 5 is ease of use. And you know, gingham really is relatively easy to care for. Most gingham fabrics are machine washable, and that makes the maintenance of them just a total breeze. In our fast-paced modern life, we definitely need clothing options that will remain looking fresh and vibrant for minimal effort. Might I suggest gingham checks all those boxes, pun intended. In conclusion, whether you're drawn to gingham because of its timeless charm or its incredible versatility ranging from fashion to home decor and beyond, gingham is a fabric choice that stands the test of time, and it deserves a place in your wardrobe. It will also allow you to stand out as the fashion maven that you intend to be. So with all that said, I leave you with this one question. What are you waiting for? Let's go add some gingham to our wardrobes today. And by the way, guys, I will put the link for this mug down below. I am an Amazon affiliate marketer, and it does help the channel grow. So why don't you twin with me and grab the Rendell Designs mug? Link will be down below. Take a minute, guys, go refill your cup of tea so that you can catch part 2 of the video where I'm going to share with you this home sew secret to that 5-inch border hem. In part 1, you did learn the cutting out of that dress, the laying and cutting of the pattern. And now today in part 2, we are talking about installing that 5-inch hem, which is a really bold border to install on a dress. Now I did do some changes to the patterns and the decisions on this dress, which I must admit, you know, I really wasn't sure this was gonna work. I took a big chance when I did it, but I got lucky and it worked out. And here's what I'm gonna tell you that I did. So I was working off of this pattern. This was the inspiration, and the design for the dress was I wanted a shirt dress. Do you know that I'm in my 50s and I've never owned a shirt dress in my life? Can you believe it? I actually started to think about it when I was making this dress, that I realized I've never had a shirt dress. Isn't that interesting? So here's where I took the big risk. You guys know that I've been working from this pattern right here for the shirt dress. It's a lovely pattern. I have no critique of the pattern as it is. I made changes to it because I was after a specific effect. Okay? So if you purchase Butterick pattern 6333, honestly guys, it's a well-designed pattern. It functions great exactly as it is. I would recommend it. Go for it. Now what I did was I did part C here at the top. You can see is actually identical to the pattern. I didn't change 1 centimeter because the measurements for the size I wear worked perfectly with my measure. I actually didn't have to alter anything. It was pretty amazing. But here's the deal, is that this dress comes with a box skirt pleat. I did have enough fabric to do that, but if I did that, then I would have to do this skirt length. Now, if you guys recall, last year I bought this fabric and I got it on sale for like $4 a meter, and I bought 3 meters, so $12. This is how I roll, man. I love a bargain. I really love a bargain. I don't know why, but I do. I get such a charge off of coming home and saying, I got this pattern for $3. I got this fabric for $4 a meter. It just seems to be something I enjoy. Feeling like I beat the system or something, a little bit triumphant that I got a sale, right? So anyways, here's the deal. With the amount of fabric that I had to make a choice. I could do the pattern exactly as it appears here, but to have enough fabric to do the box pleats in this design, the skirt was going to end above the knee. But I wanted one of these longer skirts where you can be sitting at the office, cross your legs, and you're not always worried about, you know, are my knees pressed together? And you have to be a woman and wear a skirt to know what I'm talking about, but you know what I'm talking about, ladies. You know what I am talking about. And so basically, by deciding to make the skirt length a whole bunch longer, it adds this huge comfort level to the design. Now, the only way that I could pull off the longer skirt level was the gathering around the waist had to go. And you know what? The A-line, the cutting on the bias that I did actually kind of makes it a little more sleek anyways. So what I ended up doing is I used this old vintage pattern that I have because it already has an A-line cut on the bias skirt pattern. And guess what? Be it Vogue or Butterick or McCall's or Simplicity, if you're buying, or even Berta, if you're buying from these major pattern maker brands, the measurements and the ease between the patterns I find is pretty decent. It is pretty consistent, okay? So therefore, what I decided to do is I took the skirt from this dress and added it to the top of this dress. And I'm not kidding you guys, this is what we got. It did work out because the waistline measurements matched up and I was able to put this together. And then here's where so that was risk number one, right? Risk number one was attaching the top and the skirt together that were two completely different patterns. Of course, I checked with a measuring tape. Things seemed like they were gonna map out. For $12 of fabric, guys, I'm not making a toile. Okay, I'm not for $12 fabric. When I have like the Kate Middleton jacket I'm making, it's $34 a meter fabric. I'm making a toile first. But for something like this, I'm not making a toile first. I'm just taking a chance. So I did take a huge risk that the project could have failed and not worked out because of the choices that I made. But what I did do was combine this skirt and this top, and it worked out. I'm so relieved. I'm so relieved. So in any event, what you're gonna watch today in the remainder of the video is the assembly of this 5-inch border hem and how that came together. Working on this dress, I have realized that I need lining fabric for the skirt because this is going to end up being worn at the office, and as you can see, it's got a little bit of a sheen to it. And anyways, you know what, if you see the outline of your legs when you're at the beach or something, that's fine, but in the office, you know, it's supposed to look properly dressed. So this lining that I have is actually a soft white or an off-white. It's not bright white. It's not perfect, but sometimes the whole point of having a fabric stash is you don't have to go to the store. This is close enough. It will not take away from the look of the outfit, and I don't have to spend any new money. So I have all this lining fabric here, plus that I'm gonna cut out the lining for the skirt, and then I gotta cut out some interfacing, and we're gonna get busy sewing. So now I have the dress lining cut out like for the skirt on both. What I'm doing now is folding it out of the way without necessarily unpinning everything. And I'm actually gonna cut the fabric along this lengthen and shorten line because we are gonna add in a strip of trim. It's kind of shiny, so it's just gonna stick out past that line like about that much. So it's gonna be like just a little stripe through there, and then we'll hem it. So I'm gonna cut that next. You can see what I've done now. I've cut the skirt. I've made sure that the pattern of the gingham is lined up. And on both the front of the skirt and the back of the skirt, we're running the center seams here first, both pieces. And then when we put it together, this trim is going to run right through, so it's not as choppy in the center. Front and back will look more smooth about the trim, right? So that's what's doing next. So first I'm going to stitch and serge both skirt front and backs and assemble that. And once I have that done, then we're ready to actually start doing the pattern the way it was designed. Let's go. So this took forever to pin, forever. But you can see that once we stitch this down, we're gonna have a nice little ribbon trim, like flat cording, right? There's no cord in the middle, so it'll lay super flat for the dress, but it's just gonna add that visual interest to the dress. It will have about a 2.5 inch hem. So like it's gonna be about that far from the bottom when it's done. And I'm gonna sew this. This is the skirt back, and then next I'll do, oh no, this is the skirt front because it's got the double pins that I have to mark and keep it straight. But anyways, this is the skirt front. After I do this, I'm gonna do the back. All right, guys, so this is where we're at. I have the piping installed along the dress edge. I have it pinned to just run a 1/4 inch top stitching all around it to make sure things are good. But guess what? I actually made a mistake because, all right, one of these is the skirt front, the other's the skirt back. Can you believe, like, I'm going to close the side seams. I totally forgot. The center front should be open for the button dress, and I had already trimmed and serged the seam allowance, so I'm going to have to pick open the center front and maybe serge the edges right away to hold it together, and hopefully this will all still come together when I'm putting it together. Whoopsie daisy, stuff happens. All right, everyone, so now what I've done is I've pinned this 2 front panels to the back of the skirt, and so we're gonna run these seams. So once we have that sewn, you can see the inside here. This is the center front that's gonna have the banding added for the shirt dress, and we're gonna have this nice piping going all the way around. Time to stitch that. All right, everyone, this has taken me an absolutely unreasonable amount of time to do today, but here's the skirt with the trim installed. You can see my seams are pretty decent at the sides there in terms of matching up, and this is the inside of it. I'm gonna add a lining. I have that lining I cut out this afternoon, right? So I'm pretty pleased with how this turned out. It's a nice long length, almost to the floor, which is what I wanted, is one of these dramatic long length type things. And as you know, I had stitched the center and chopped it off, so hopefully the seam allowance when we add the, you know, center binding is gonna work still. It's gonna have to, we're gonna figure something out. But anyways, there it is. I'm really happy with how it turned out, but I will say, oh my goodness, this was actually a lot of work. But yay, there it is. So I hope today's video has given you some solid reasons to incorporate gingham into your wardrobe in an ongoing basis. You're not going to want to miss part 3 of this video, where I'm going to share with you celebrities who wore gingham, and we're going to figure out who wore it best. I'll see you guys next time with your needle and thread right here at Cassie Sews. Take care, guys. Bye.